Welcome back to NCG Reptiles, and today we're talking about
tips of buying a new gecko.
tips on buying your first gecko, right? Because why?
Because it's hard.
Because it's hard and it's fun, right?
Mm-hmm. So
we've bought little baby geckos from like 5 grams all the way up to Mondo, which is 80 plus grams. So we've bought geckos from the tiniest to the biggest, and this is our suggestion. If you're buying your first brand new gecko, right? What size do you think is the best size?
25 grams.
25 grams. All right, guys. So we're gonna go with the 25 gram gecko as a first pick, as a first pet gecko, right?
Yeah.
Right. And there's reasons for that, guys, right? Anything come to your mind why you think 25 grams is a good start?
Because you'll get to see him more than if he's like 40 grams or something.
Yes.
So you could see him grow.
Yeah. So 25 grams is a happy medium because you can get a little baby. It's still considered like a juvenile, and they'll grow. You still could watch them grow from 25 grams all the way up to 50 plus grams. And you know, I've bought geckos right around the 25 gram mark, and you think, wow, that gecko's already beautiful and it's amazing gecko. And then this thing hits 30-40 grams and color pops. So not only is it good to watch the gecko start at 25 grams, but there's a possibility you will still be able to get a gecko that that just wows you. You know, if you buy a wild gecko, it may even wow you even more, right? Mm-hmm. And so 25 grams is a good start. Now, before you buy your gecko, because these are tips on buying a gecko, your first brand new gecko, right? Yeah, this is your very first pet. Now, what I would recommend is research. Research before you buy your gecko, before you buy your tank. And we're going to get into this tank in a minute, right? Mm-hmm. And why we have this tank here. But before you buy a gecko, you want to do your research. You want to go online. So basically, this first gecko is for Gargoyle geckos and Crested geckos, right? Mm-hmm. So go online, do some research. Look up care, you know, see what they eat and stuff like that, and learn where they come from. And you know, I have books here. I bought these books in the past just so you guys can have some ideas. So like, these aren't Gargoyle geckos or Crested geckos. Oh, I do have one Gargoyle here, but I have some Crested geckos. But see, these are books, good books to have, good references. You know, something that you can always see. I have all these books that I'm always looking at and reading. This is a really cool book. This is a Gargoyle gecko book, so this is a good one for this video. So Gargoyle and Crested. So do your research. Go online, Google, search, YouTube. Do a lot of YouTube videos. There's a lot of people who have care videos out there. This is not really a care video. This is more like how to buy your first gecko and what we recommend, right?
Yeah.
So, let me put this over here. So the other benefits of buying a 25 gram gecko. Wait, first, should we talk about let's show you guys what a 25 gram gecko looks like, right?
Yeah.
Should we do that first? Mm-hmm. All right, before we go in there, you're like, okay, fine, let's buy a 25 gram gecko. But what does that look like, right? Nobody's walking around with a scale. So I have 2 geckos here. So we got here, we have
number 1 little gecko.
This is our first. So this one's a Crested. This is roughly 25 grams. So I want to see what you guys are looking at when you're looking for a gecko. And I figure I'll show you guys first so you see what we're talking about. So 25 grams is nice because they're more, they can take temperature change and humidity, right? They can handle that better than if you were to buy a little 5 gram gecko, a little tiny guy. Yeah. You know, so that's another benefit of buying you might be a little jumpy right now. Usually 25 gram gecko about this size is a gecko that's a little bit more calmer than a smaller gecko, right? Let me see if I can get this guy in front of the camera so you can see how big he is, right? Might have to hide your eyes.
Okay.
So you could come in, yeah. All right, there you go. So this guy is roughly 25 grams. He's a phantom charcoal, beautiful little gecko. And so these guys are a little bit easier to handle than a little guy. They can tolerate handling a little bit better. And so when you bring this guy home, so this 25 gram gecko, when you bring them home, you still want them to get acclimated, and you still don't want to handle them too much for the first 2 to 3 weeks after you buy them. But this would be like the perfect size Crested gecko to buy, right? Here you go. All right. So that's 25 grams. You can see how big he is. Alright, so we're gonna pull out a gargoyle gecko, right? So let's put this guy away so they can see what a 25-gram gargoyle gecko looks like, right?
It's a little jump.
Yeah, because I had him in here. But yeah, imagine if that gecko was a tiny 5-gram gecko jumping around like that. Those guys are really fast and they can jump around too quickly. Alright, so this is another gargoyle gecko. So these are the size geckos I could recommend as a first pet gecko. You can watch them grow. You can know whether it's a boy or girl. They're a little bit easier to handle, right?
Yeah.
And then you might even get lucky with the color pop on these guys.
Yeah.
So this one is another roughly 25-gram gecko. Let's see how this guy's doing. Let me put you in the camera. Now this is the
hide again.
Yeah. This is a gargoyle gecko here, guys. This is the perfect first size gecko that I would recommend to buy. So this is a red pastel gargoyle gecko. Beautiful little gecko. And I know what you guys thinking, like, I just want to go, when you buy your first gecko, you're like, I just want to go buy the first cool gecko that I see. But you know, this is just the guideline for you guys. This is what will make things a lot easier if you go with this, right? See this guy? He's really cool. You can enjoy them. They're really nice. Good size. Alright guys, let's put this one away. Now let's go with the tank size for this size gecko. Alright. Yeah. Alright. So now those two are 25-gram geckos. Gargoyle and a crested gecko. Now let's go with tank size, right? And just any idea what size tank this is, Angelina? 12 by 12 by 18.
Oh.
It's a 12 by 12 by 18. Here we go. Okay. So this is a glass tank, and the reason why, yes, you can go with other tanks and PVC and plastic and everything, but as a first gecko, right? As your very first pet gecko, what do you want to do? You want to see your tank. You want to see, not see your tank. You want to see your gecko. Get a glass one, guys. Get a glass tank so you can see your gecko. You know, you put in a plastic tank, that's nice, but this way you can observe him. You can see him, her. You know, whatever gecko you want to get.
Yeah, you could look what he's doing.
Yeah, you can look what he's doing.
Eating good.
Exactly. If he's eating, if he's pooping, and right.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, I got the 12 by 12 by 8 by 18. And the other good thing, you get a 25-gram gecko, you don't have to buy another tank. Like, this gecko can live in this one size tank. So if you buy a baby, which is fine, if you buy a 5-gram baby, you're gonna have to get a smaller tank, right? And if you get then you can move up to the next size tank or double shoebox size, like the ones you see in the back, which we talked about in other videos. But if you get a gecko about the size that I'm showing you guys, all you have to do is just buy one size tank, and you get all the benefits of a small gecko. And watching it grow, right? And you can build a little relationship with your gecko, okay? So you're like, okay, I got my first gecko. What do I put in my tank? What do I do, right? Like,
just put him in.
Just put them in there, right? Hi, gecko. No.
Bored.
They will be bored. All right, let's set this baby up so you guys can see what a gecko tank looks like when you're all set and ready. And when do you want to buy this tank? After you buy the gecko?
No.
No, you want this thing ready to go in your house, right? You want it in the spot.
So you could just put him in.
Put him in there, right? And
so
keep him in.
he doesn't get scared and don't drop his tail.
Yeah, you don't want scared geckos and dropping their tails, and so we want this baby ready to go. We want this tank in a spot where it's going to be roughly about 70 degrees all the time. You don't want it fluctuating too hot or too cold. You want it a room in your house that's going to be about 70. I think that's ideal, right? Yeah. So this is so let's set this baby up, right? Let's see what we got. So if you had a tank like this, so this one's pretty cool because the top comes off. So this one, let's take the top off of this one so we can set it up for you guys, right?
Yeah.
They do sell with these tanks, with this type tank, little covers like plastic, like glass PVC tops for these you could put on. That way you can keep the humidity in there, you know, depending on your location in your house or where you live in the country, you might want to cover this to keep some more humidity in there. But that's a video for another day. But this is still, you can still use this tank perfectly anywhere you live, right? This is why I recommend this tank, or this style tank. You know, you can have the ones with the 2 doors or the 1 door. Either one's good. There's not one that's better, right? Okay, let's set this up. All right, so what do we got here? Let's set the.
Okay.
What kind of substrate? Substrate's the bottom, right?
Yeah, the bottom. We put paper towel.
Paper towel, yes. It's actually a cleaner way to go, right? You use paper towels. You can see.
Yeah, and then he gets his tank all dirty, you could just grab the paper towel roll, and then you don't need to go and find like a wipe or another paper towel roll. You could just use that one to clean with.
Yeah, so paper towel's good. You can make sure they go to the bathroom. That's one good thing for your brand new gecko. Remember, don't be handling your gecko right away. They're going to be stressed out. You want to make sure they're eating. And how do you make sure they're eating? Their food is getting low in the bowl, and they're pooping, right? If they're not pooping, they're not eating. All right, so
then we need the back of it so they could like climb.
Yeah.
And this they won't really see the back.
Yeah.
So they could just it looks cooler and it makes the gecko
exactly, it's good.
And then it helps the gecko climb on it.
Yeah, the gecko likes to climb on this. Cork bark background looks pretty. Everybody's happy with these cork bark backgrounds.
Oh, no, I can't see it.
It's okay. We're gonna just move this over to the side so everybody can see.
Yeah.
Right. So there we go. We got the cork bark. Gecko likes to climb up there.
Yeah.
What else do we need in this tank? So we got the paper towel. We got the cork bark.
We could put like leaves and then like cork bark or a little hiding.
Oh yeah. So check this out, guys. I don't know. Just from experience, anytime I put a little hide in there, these are really cool. Doesn't matter what size gecko they are. I had babies all the way to adults. They love these little cork bark like hollows, these little pieces. So I put those in there, and they like to hide. They like to go in there and hide. So that's a good thing. What else do we got?
Some leaves.
We got some more cork bark.
Yeah.
Let's put the rest up. We also put another piece of cork bark in there, right? So they can kind of climb on there. You know, here's the cork bark for them to run up and climb.
And then to hide in, there's leaves.
So yeah,
fake leaves.
We go to either Dollar Tree or we go to Hobby Lobby. You get these things on sale. $1.25 at Dollar Tree. That's pretty good. So Dollar Tree leaves. We put those leaves in there so they can hide. Right? They like that stuff.
And
what else do we got?
We need food bowls and water bowls.
Food bowls. So you guys don't have to buy these. I love them. You know why? Because it holds the food and the water bowl in the same spot, and you can hang this up, and you don't have to. A lot of people put the food down at the bottom, and you don't have to go digging down inside there. You can just put this up higher. The gecko will eat from it.
The gecko could climb, and then they could eat.
Yeah. So you put the food bowl in there. Did we show them the food bowl? Yeah, we show them. It's just a regular. You just got the two spots with the magnets. The magnets are better. If you get the ones with the suction cup, they tend to fall off. So get the magnetic ones, and they stay perfectly in there. So
and
that's a good thing.
you don't need to like pull as hard as you can to get the suction cup.
So now you're like, look at what else do we need? Is there anything else?
Of course there is.
Of course.
Calcium.
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 Feed your bugs. Feed them bugs once a week, right?
Yeah.
So feed your geckos. Make sure they're eating. Don't leave the bugs in there so they can chew on your gecko. Some geckos don't want to eat the insects, but if they do eat insects, make sure you watch them. Put some calcium in there. This is the stuff that we use here. Dust your crickets. Feed your crickets first. I have a video on that. Make sure you're feeding them. Feed your crickets carrots. Those are, a perfect food to give them before you feed it to your animals, and then dust them.
And then of course you'll need food to put.
Food, yes. So there's Pangea or Rapashi. We use mostly Pangea food. This is the stuff we use. Our geckos love it. See, use that. So have all this stuff that we're showing you is stuff you have before you bring home your gecko. Have the food, have the calcium, and have the tank ready. What else do you got?
The water.
Please, guys, mist your geckos every day. I mist mine every night, once and every night. If you live in drier parts of the world, of the earth, of the U.S. or wherever you're at, some people mist them twice a day. I live here in the Midwest. Once a day is usually pretty good. I did have a video where I had a issue with the humidity in the wintertime, but I had a fix for that. It's a different video, but usually you can mist once a day. You take this, I'll show you exactly what to do. You brought your gecko home at night, you're ready to go to bed, right? Let's get with gecko, and this is what I do. And you give your kids a bath too, right? Just kidding. So yeah, you spray this down everywhere. Get the sides, get this side, get all those sides, and then that's what you do every night. You spray it down. Make sure that the water bowl is full. I feed them. I would say a 25-gram gecko. Feed them. Have this food bowl with the Pangea every other day. Have it full. Clean it out. Don't leave it dry out. And you're gonna be happy. The geckos are gonna be happy, right?
And they wanna live with you forever.
Forever. Oh yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. These geckos, they live. We're seeing up to 30 years on some of these geckos, right? So they're long-lived. You know, you're gonna have a long time with these geckos. So make sure they're happy. Make sure they're eating. You know, make sure you find a vet.
If like we had another video of one of our geckos. Like I said to me.
Yeah, so yeah.
So that's why you need a vet.
You need a vet. Make sure you have a vet. These are all things that have prepared before you buy your gecko. Okay, now you're like, where do I buy a gecko? How do I find a 25-gram gecko? Okay, easier said than done, right? A couple places. I love buying geckos on Morph Market, right?
Yeah.
You could go on there. You can even punch in the size. You can say 20 to 30 grams, and you'll get an array of geckos that pop up. And that's one way to do it. Morph Market's awesome.
Yeah.
Another way to do it is Instagram. I'm on Instagram all the time, and I can see people posting their geckos all the time on Instagram. Message a breeder, say, hey, you know, I'm looking for my first gecko. You know, any ideas?
Is that 25-gram gecko?
Yeah, roughly 25 grams. Yeah, it doesn't have to be exact, right? It can be a little bit plus or minus. That's a good way to do it. And my favorite. Do you know my favorite place to buy a gecko? Expos. We are so fortunate that we live right by where? Which?
Tinley.
Tinley. I've bought in many geckos at Tinley.
Yes.
And the good things about buying geckos at an expo is that you get to meet the breeder, right?
Yeah.
You get to get a healthier animal.
Yeah.
You get to get
and then you could if you've forgot about like, or if you ran out of food, or you didn't have food because you didn't find food. There's food there for the geckos.
Yes, they have everything you need at the expo. Bottles. Yes. So what she's saying that is, if you go to an expo, not only can you buy the tank and the quart bark and the food and the bowls, everything you see here, and the calcium, you can even buy the gecko, and everything you need at expos is like right there. And what's nice about like Tinley, you can go like on a Friday, right? You can go on a Friday, you can buy the tank, look at the geckos. Then you go on Saturday, you can buy the quart bark and the food and this, and then you can look at the geckos. And then on Sunday, you know, when the deals are, usually the deals are on Sundays, right?
Yeah, and then you buy the gecko.
You buy the gecko and bring it home, right? And then and
then you feel happy about your little gecko. and then like a week or two, and then you can start playing with your gecko.
Yes, a couple weeks, and then you play with your gecko. But that's where my favorite place is to buy a gecko, the expo.
And it's fun because you could walk around, see other geckos, and there's a whole bunch of choices though.
Oh my goodness!
And it's so hard to pick, but it's really fun buying a gecko and going to Disney.
Yeah, and meeting people and hanging out with family and going out to
finding
eat.
friends.
And finding friends. Gecko friends. ends. Exactly. So the gecko doesn't end here, guys. What she's saying is, you buy your first gecko, you're gonna have a world open up to you. You're gonna meet.
You could buy a whole bunch more geckos.
And then you end up in a room full of geckos, right?
Yeah, and then you get more friends of the more geckos you find.
Yes. Yes. If there's anything in the comments, please. I know there's people watching it that's been watching these. That's been having geckos and breeders and everybody that tunes into this channel. If you have any more
questions,
well, not quite any more ideas for the first time buyer, right? Because this video is mostly for I'm buying my first gecko. If you have any more tips and tricks, please put them in the comments, because people are reading these comments and they help each other out. I love it when I see people comment on other people's questions and stuff like that. So if you can, please comment. And I think that's it, right?
No.
What? Is there anything else?
Yeah.
We forgot something. What?
Smash that subscribe button.
Smash that subscribe button, guys. Thank you so much. Over and out.
Bye.
Bye.